As the first current or former United States president to face criminal charges. And we hear from a restaurant owner in Goliad after her restaurant was destroyed by a fire on Wednesday. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center has a new home along North Navarro.
Well, late this afternoon, we picked up a thunder shower that's rolling up toward our region. There's Karnes City, Stockdale, here's Pettis. So if you're in that area or out to the west of us, keep that in mind. Looks like it's moving northeast and will be headed toward maybe the Gonzales area. We'll have the latest for you coming up in just a few moments.
And the Pepsi Athletes of the Week brought home some medals from state. We hear from them in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. I'm Karina Garcia. Don Brubaker has the night off. A Manhattan grand jury voted today to indict Donald Trump on hush money payments his attorney made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Not to talk about the pair's alleged affair. The indictment is under seal, so charges are unknown. Manhattan's district attorney's office will reach out to Trump's attorneys to try to arrange a surrender so he can face arraignment. If he doesn't turn himself in, he could be arrested. Trump called the indictment, quote, political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history, unquote. The Waterwell Cafe is a family-owned restaurant in Goliad. This Saturday was supposed to be the last Waterwell's day operating in Goliad before they moved to their new location in downtown Victoria. But due to an electrical fire earlier this week, their water well has burned down. No one was hurt in the fire, but the Goliad location of the Waterwell Cafe was a complete loss, with the exception of a picture of Jesus. And in speaking with a woman at the well, it was given to a restaurant owner, Jennifer Rubio, from one of her customers who's been battling cancer. And like Rubio says, things can be replaced, but people cannot. So although no one was hurt in the fire, Rubio says seeing a firefighter emerge from the charred building was an emotional moment for her and her staff.
No matter what, we were able to have beauty from ashes, and the Waterwell Cafe 361 is going to do great things in this town, and we're excited to get going. That picture gave us hope. It gave me a new fight. It gave me a moment to pick my head up, even though it was down. This isn't easy. It's kind of hard not knowing what I'm going to do day to day, but I know that greater is He.
The Waterwell Cafe has a staff of 14 people, and Rubio said she hopes she can open her new location in downtown Victoria by Easter on Sunday, April 2nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be a plate sale at Sweet Fountains Bakery to assist with the loss. To find the Waterwell's Cafe GoFundMe, as well as Rubio's full interview, come to crossroadstoday.com for more information on how to help her out. And we want to update you on some breaking news you first received on our Crossroads Today website around 3 p.m. today. Smith STEM Academy and Stroman and STEM Middle School were placed on lockdown due to suspected gunfire in the area. The call went to VPD in the area of Ben Wilson and Airline Road. Authorities flooded the area as a precaution, and students were released to go home from the two schools. No one is reported to be hurt. SNAP benefits were recently reduced when the pandemic funding came to an end. Many people are now struggling in reaching out to other agencies for help. So this is going to bring us to your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code right there on your screen to participate. Do you know someone who saw a reduction in SNAP benefits recently? Yes or no? We take a look at these results, and 35% say yes and 65% say no. We want to keep on hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate in our daily viewer poll tomorrow. A large group of migrants were seen walking along the border, prompting the United States government's buses to arrive in South El Paso area on Wednesday. This comes after a fire broke out at a migrant detention facility center in Juarez, killing a total of 39 migrants and leaving 28 others hospitalized. Border Patrol officials say they don't have the specifics regarding how large the group is. However, agents will continue processing the migrants at the border. And now let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you, Karina. This afternoon, we actually popped a few thunder showers out west of us. You can see the first one here is went over Pleasanton, is getting very close to the Karnes City area, and will continue moving northeast toward Gonzales. There are a few more showers behind it, and we'll have the latest for you coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Mac, thank you. The quick action and courage of the Nashville police officers in Monday's mass school shooting weren't the only heroes on that day. Metro bus drivers were also among those who went beyond the call of duty to help after the mass shooting at the Covenant Christian Elementary School.
I believe it is a calling. It's so much more than a job.
You have to have a compassion for the job and the kids.
We're all family up here.
Kelly Bell and Tracy Garton have both been bus drivers for Metro schools for 19 years. When kids board their buses, their safety couldn't be more important to them.
We go into mama mode, daddy mode. You start feeling the love, like they're your own kids.
Monday morning, after school drop-offs, the usual was underway when shop supervisor Steve Bowman
We rounded up all of our drivers.
brought urgent news.
There's been an active shooter.
I need you in a bus. Let's go.
I dropped what I was doing and I ran across the parking lot as fast as I could go.
I went into praying mode on the way there.
The shooting at the Covenant School meant Metro school bus drivers were needed to take the kids from here to reunite with their parents. Tracy and Kelly were among the drivers who went into action.
And I had some kids like sitting right behind me and they started crying. You know, and I turned around and I said, you know, everything's gonna be okay now, you're on the bus.
On Kelly's bus, the children didn't seem to know what happened at all. Her job became getting the children away from all of this and helping keep a sense of calm.
I just kept on telling the kids, we're going on a field trip. My kids started singing The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round.
Everybody put their emotions in check and did their job.
We really couldn't be fearful at that moment. We couldn't really think of what's going on over there. I'm a mom, so I wanted to get the kids to their parents.
And that's exactly what drivers like Kelly and Tracy did.
I mean, I want everybody to know that in times of need, good or bad, the Metro school bus drivers will always be there.
I'm Forrest Sanders, News Channel 5.
Parents and students rallied at the Capitol in Nashville calling for stricter gun laws 3 days after the Covenant school shooting took the lives of 3 children and 3 adults. People are demanding change. The group met across from Legislative Plaza, then marched to the Capitol. They rallied at the Tennessee State Capitol this morning to advocate for stricter gun laws and change.
And the truth is, it doesn't matter what school it is. One school is all our schools. One child is all our children. One assault weapon can kill more people than should be allowed.
The group plans to voice their concerns as lawmakers head into session. An overnight train derailment in Minnesota is just the latest in a slew of recent incidents, adding to the growing concern over the safety of the nation's railroads. Here's more with the government's response.
Rail cars bursting into flames early Thursday morning when a BNSF railway train hauling ethanol and mixed freight, including corn syrup, derailed in Raymond, Minnesota, forcing nearby residents to evacuate for several hours.
We take full accountability for it and will continue to be here until this is cleaned up.
Ethanol is a highly flammable chemical. The effects of exposure can include coughing, dizziness, and unconsciousness. But so far, officials say there have been no injuries or reports of toxic exposure.
Safety of the community is our utmost priority.
This comes nearly 2 months after the February derailment of a Norfolk Southern train carrying hazardous chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio, that sparked a days-long inferno. And it's just the latest in a string of recent incidents calling the safety of the nation's railways into question.
The reason that we're pushing so hard on railroad safety is to make sure there are fewer of these incidents. This happens more often than I think most Americans realize.
As the federal government launches investigations into the causes of the derailments, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are taking action.
The RAIL Act makes important and pragmatic changes to the way our nation's rail industry operates, ensuring that our families, friends, and neighbors are kept safe.
A bipartisan group of Ohio representatives recently proposed legislation that includes provisions to enhance federal oversight of freight trains, increases funding for hazardous materials training for first responders, and increases penalties for rail safety violations. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
The South Texas Blood and Tissue has a new location so it can better serve the community. After many years on Sam Houston Drive, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is now right next to HEB Plus on Navarro. The move to a busier and more centralized location will help the blood bank reach more people.
But we've had a growth in the number of blood products that are needed. And so in order to keep up with that demand, we needed to do some new things to get it to be more convenient and more accessible for donors so that we could have more donors come in every single day and meet the demands of the community.
Every 2 seconds in America, someone needs blood. One blood donation can save up to 3 lives. Alrighty, grab your cell phone and scan this QR code. This is our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts and vote in our viewer polls, get the latest news, weather, and sports, and learn all about our ongoing contests right there on the app. You can also submit news, tips, videos, and photos. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, a former Boston police officer was arrested on felony and misdemeanor charges for his involvement in the Capitol riots. Also ahead, the latest on the fatal shooting on the movie set of Rust.
News Center 25 at 6 and 10 is also heard on KVNN 1340 AM, Victoria's News Network.
Hello, I'm Karina Garcia, and I'm inviting you on a holiday vacations tour. Join me August 19th to the 28th as we explore Bryce, Zion, and the Grand Canyon. Immerse yourself in the scenic beauty of 4 iconic national parks. Enjoy sweeping panoramas and otherworldly rock formations in these one-of-a-kind locations. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword KAVU, for more information.
She survived the Uvalde shooting.
I don't have too many friends, so that's really hard for me.
The little girl who played dead.
It was a very bad situation, and I did all I could.
You slept in your shoes for a while, right?
Because if anything happened, I wanted to be able to get ready and go.
If you think this is a brave and courageous little girl, stand up for her right now. Next, Dr. Phil.
From America's #1 news source comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and it can customize to you and your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience what all the buzz is about. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
This week's Lean On Me $500 giveaway is brought to you by Victory GMC. Our drive is to help the community thrive.
I'm Troy York, and I'm the General Manager of Victory GMC, and the winner today of Lean On Me is Dr. Cochran. Doctor, what are you going to use this $500 for?
It's going to be donated to a 501c3 Victoria Trap, Neuter, and Return to continue to provide low-cost spay-neuter services for cats in our area.
Great. Make sure you visit Victory GMC or Victory Kia today and nominate someone for Lean On Me.
You or someone you know could be our next $500 winner. Go to Victory Kia or Victory GMC to drop off your entry in the Lean On Me drop box with your story and contact info. Go to crossroadstoday.com/leanonme for more info or to enter online.
A former Boston police K-9 officer was arrested on felony and misdemeanor charges, including assaulting a law enforcement officer during the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol. He faces 8 charges, including obstruction of law enforcement during civil disorder, assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers or employees. A current Boston police officer identified him after surveillance images and video footage showed him inside the restricted perimeter of the U.S. Capitol. The Santa Fe District Attorney is stepping away from the involuntary manslaughter case against actor Alec Baldwin. This after a special prosecutor in the case also stepped down.
New developments in the investigation into the death of Rust cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. 2 new special prosecutors are now appointed to handle the involuntary manslaughter case against actor Alec Baldwin, after New Mexico First Judicial District Attorney Mary Carmack Outwees announced she is stepping away from prosecuting the case against Baldwin and set armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed. Weeks ago, the special prosecutor, the DA first assigned to the case, resigned amid calls for disqualification. In a statement, the DA says she is assigning 2 new special prosecutors, Carrie Morrissey and Jason Lewis, who will, quote, unflinchingly pursue justice in the death of Halyna Hutchins on behalf of the people of First Judicial District.
I hope that they take a fresh look at it.
Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed each face 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the October 2021 shooting and have entered not guilty pleas. The charges carry a maximum penalty of 18 months in prison and fines. Prosecutors dropping a gun enhancement charge that carried a maximum sentence of up to 5 years in prison. That gun, a Colt .45 revolver that Baldwin's team told a judge had been destroyed by the state. Yet a spokeswoman for the New Mexico First Judicial District attorney says the gun still exists and can in fact be used as evidence, clarifying that some internal damage to the gun occurred during FBI testing. Baldwin maintaining he was told the gun did not contain live ammunition and that he never pulled the trigger in a 2021 interview with George Stephanopoulos.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger.
Production for The Western is moving full steam ahead, expected to continue in Montana, with Baldwin still attached as an actor, and Hutchins' widower, Matthew, was named an executive producer as part of a wrongful death settlement. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A North Carolina community college was placed on lockdown for several hours today following reports of shots fired on campus. Police say a man was hurt in a shooting at the community college in Winston-Salem. The shooting prompted a security threat and campus lockdown with evacuations of students and staff. Officers said there was no active threat to the campus or to the community.
So we were able to get officers in place to be able to do a systematic search of the campus to ensure that we were not only accounting for the students that were normally supposed to be on campus, but also identifying any additional victims and or suspect concerns.
No arrests were made at this time. The man who was shot sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Some puppies jumped into the arms of state lawmakers in an effort to push forward House Bill 3439. This bill would make emergency vet care more accessible. Texas is the only state which prevents veterinarians at animal shelters from providing emergency care for pets. This often forces low-income people to visit vet hospitals where prices can be much higher.
Well, good evening, everyone. We are looking at the gusty southeast winds, bringing all that humidity back. And actually, this evening we have a few showers in South Texas, maybe not in your house, but we'll have all your forecasts coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI, and I'm still paying for it every day.
Attention parents! If you are working, looking for work, attending school, or in training for a better career, did you know that you may qualify for child care assistance through Workforce Solutions Golden Crescent? Child care assistance can help you make those ends meet and is just a phone call away. Some guidelines apply. If you live in Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzales, Jackson, Lavaca, or Victoria County, call 578-0341 to schedule your appointment to learn more. Workforce Solutions Golden Crescent, working for you. Workforce Solutions is an equal opportunity employer program.
Go faster on Optimum Internet with 99.9% reliability. Get 300 meg internet for as low as $30 a month with no annual contract, and equipment is included for whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Plus, Optimum has faster download speeds than AT&T nationwide. Get award-winning 300 meg internet for $30 a month with Optimum Mobile for as low as $15 a month. Call 8669-OPTIMUM, go to Optimum.com, or visit your local store today. Get closer, go farther with Optimum.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, including Ford F-150 and the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger. It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. See what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock. Now, during the final days of Truck Month, lease a new Ford F-150 for just $498 a month, plus complimentary maintenance. Hurry into your Texas Ford dealer.
Do you want to make an impact in your community? Join Golden Crescent CASA at their first annual Volunteer Expo for Child Abuse Prevention Month on April 4th at the Junior League of Victoria from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Learn more about a few of the many organizations in our community that can use your help. For more information, visit goldencrescentcasa.org or call 361-573-3734.
So y'all have been married for 35 years. Are there things that bother you about each other?
I mean, nothing.
You've directed each other.
She had me do it 30 times.
I think I might be a little more exacting than Kevin is.
She was like, I want you to say, okay.
No, it wasn't like that.
Okay, right, exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Next, Kelly. She's still not nailing it.
Well, good evening, everyone. 74 degrees right about now. The winds have settled down a little bit. Earlier today, we peaked out at about 30 miles an hour. Our high today, 82, still above our average. I mean, we're either below normal or we're above normal, and we're going to be above normal for quite some time now. We see this evening the cloud deck that's over us, and we also are watching a couple of thunder showers that have popped up this afternoon. They're basically to the west of us. You can see 35 all the way to Laredo. You can see how they're coming up this way, so we're going to take a closer look. Here's Goliad, Cuero, and Pleasanton, and you can see the thunderstorm going right over there. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it is some rain, and it looks like it's headed toward the Seguin and Gonzales areas. So if you're up there in Karnes City, Nixon, and those regions, you might see some of that. Here's the city. I don't expect anything significant to roll through here at all. So that's what excitement we have this evening. So now we take a look at the longer term, and we were going to watch and wait, because this storm in the Central Plains is really the big weather maker for next 2-3 days. Today, the winds are blowing strong over our region into that storm. And then tomorrow, when it moves right about here, it's going to be a big, severe weather maker. You can see how there's a dry line ahead of it. That's what's going to make it rather warm. This is a southwest wind ahead of it. That's a dry, hot air. But you can see as the front comes into Texas, it does trigger a few little showers out to East Texas. But the big stuff's right here, and to the north of it, yep, some people are still dealing with snow. Can you believe it? So the front will get very close to our area. I don't know. I don't believe that we're really going to pick up a north wind out of this. I think it's going to stall somewhere around San Antonio and then back up itself as a warm front. You can see how we have future tracker here all the way to Sunday, and the cloud deck gets thicker and thicker, and it moves northbound. Here's another closer view. You can see the southeast winds today. You can see tomorrow there is a northwest wind up here, but ours is still out of the south. So we're going to be in that little transition zone. And then eventually by Saturday and Sunday, the clouds roll back in and the warm weather takes off. Now, interesting that in the long term, we may have a pretty good shot at some rain. Now, we need rain, right? Too much rain is a problem. Too little rain is a problem. We need it just right, like Goldilocks said. Well, we may have some much needed rainfall coming in next week. Tonight, only 70. Tomorrow, almost 90 degrees there. So very windy, probably 25 to 35 miles an hour during the afternoon hours especially. And here's what I'm talking about. While this weekend looks like we're going to be, shall we say, on the warm and humid side in the 80s, a little perspiration coming at us. Early next week, we start getting the real hot stuff, and right about here, Wednesday into Thursday. Now, you know, I mean, it's going to be April. I mean, we really don't get significant fronts this late in the season, but we've got one scheduled, and between Wednesday and Thursday, it's going to sort of wobble around the area right now. It's 7 days off, but right now, looks like we may get some significant rain out of this, which would be something very good. I'm talking maybe a half inch to an inch out of it. So we'll watch and wait for that. That's your 7-day forecast. Don't forget our QR code. With that, you can scan and put Crossroads Today on your phone and take it with you wherever you want to go. Now it's time for Sports with Gino.
Thanks, Mac. There are 2 athletes of the week this week. We hear from them after the break.
Hi, I'm Charlie Garcia. And I'm Rico Garcia. And we are USA Concrete Coatings. If you're ready to upgrade your business, restaurant, garage, man cave, or porch, then you're ready for USA Concrete Coatings.
We'll have your floors looking flawless with our exclusive USA Concrete Coatings products. We'll ensure that your concrete coating is strong and durable. It's antimicrobial and comes with a lifetime warranty.
USA Concrete Coatings, from concrete to custom in just one day.
Have a legal question that you don't have the answer to? Crossroads Law is here to help. The esteemed lawyers of the Cole, Easley & Skiba law firm are here to answer them. Submit your questions to crossroadstoday.com. This is a free service where you can find practical answers about real-life situations you might have encountered. Crossroads Law is a service of the Victoria Television Group and the law firm of Cole, Easley & Skiba, advocates of trial by jury.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
She fulfilled his every fantasy.
Because she played these games, my son died.
Was dubbed the first internet murder. Now Friday, a murder plot hatched in a chat room. Sex, the internet, murder. Truly astounding.
And now she wants to come clean to 2020.
It was like a video game, and each man was another level.
That's a special kind of evil. 2020, Friday at 9/8 Central on ABC.
The stage is set, a Hollywood week like you've never seen before. Incredible. Sunday and Monday, the two-night event begins. Your favorite Idol legends return to mentor. This is going to be fun. And the performances, wow. But one hopeful leaves everyone stunned.
Does that mean that you have decided to leave the competition?
American Idol, new Sunday and Monday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
At Crossroads, Victoria West Warrior powerlifters brought home some medals, including our two Pepsi Athletes of the Week. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more on the two stars.
The Crossroads has flexed its muscle the past few weeks at the state meets with a few champions from Victoria West. They had a few athletes that placed highly. Seniors Carla Linares and Seth Nybrandt. Carla Linares came in first in her weight class, bringing home gold to the West Warriors, but it wasn't always that way. After coming up just short, she worked harder than ever, making her a better version of herself.
It feels great, but it's also a very humbling experience. Like, it created a lot of independence for me because no one else could have got me there except for myself. Like, obviously I had support, but that growth that I see is within myself as I push myself past my limits. It just showed me that I really had to work for what I wanted. It's not just something you're given.
She's in the 97-pound weight class, but she squatted 305 pounds, benched 145, and deadlifted 275. The bench and squat were both personal records that came at the right time, as it was just enough to push her in first place. Over on the boys' side, Seth Nybrandt had quite the meet as well, coming in second place. His goal was to squat 700 pounds. He did that. His bench press 475, and he can deadlift well over 600 pounds as well. He fell 55 pounds short of coming in first, but still quite the accomplishment. Both lifters say the sport is very humbling, and it's given Seth Nybrandt quite the perspective on what failure is.
Like you were saying about failure, you have to learn to accept failure and know that it's not the end, because you can always keep working and eventually overcome that.
Both athletes plan on going to college, with Seth likely going to A&M and getting his engineering degree, and Carla Linares taking an interest in biochemistry. They both also want to compete at the next level. They shot for the stars at state and reached them, with Carla bringing home gold and Seth bringing home silver for the West Warriors. And that is why Carla Linares and Seth Nybrandt are your Pepsi Athletes of the Week.
And a new athletics organization is here and is making a big announcement. The Victoria Gators athletic program is going to be the fourth organization in Victoria to have an 11-man high school football team. This is not the only sport that the Victoria Gators will be featuring. They will also have track, baseball, basketball, golf, softball, volleyball, cheerleading, competitive cheer, along with many more. Children in elementary, middle school, and high school that attend homeschool and or private schools without a sports team can participate. The first day of spring training for the football team will be April 29th. The organization is a nonprofit, and if you would like to volunteer, you can go to our website, crossroadstoday.com, and you can also help and donate that way as well. And lastly, the Houston Astros lose its season opener tonight against the White Sox. Final score 3-2. Well, that's your sports. Karina, back to you.
Gina, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather, plus a monument of the famous racehorse Secretariat heads to Ashland.
CCA Texas and industry leaders have built the largest saltwater redfish, spotted sea trout, and southern flounder hatchery system in the world, releasing nearly 1 billion fingerlings into our Texas bays. Adult broodstock are spawned in tanks. Hundreds of thousands of fingerlings are raised in grow-out ponds and released into bays to ensure we have healthy populations for future generations. Join CCA today and help us make a difference.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, including Ford F-150 and the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger. It's the final days of Ford Truck Month, Texas. See what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock. During the final days of Truck Month, drive F-150 with 0%, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days, plus complimentary maintenance. Hurry into your Texas Ford dealer.
Friday.
Can't you taste the weekend?
I like to use the word cited. Cited for the weekend.
Taryn Edgerton and Heather Graham.
You look great. Did you change your hair?
The only time he tells me I look great is when I side part my hair. It's like working with Mark. You are the same person.
But I will say I'm consistent every time I notice something's different. Forget it's the part.
Bath & Beyond is planning to raise money by selling up to $300 million worth of stock. The retailer sold stock back in February to help fund operations. It was backed by a private equity group, but the company says it's not working with them anymore. If stock sale doesn't raise enough money, Bed Bath & Beyond may not be able to avoid filing for bankruptcy. The company is also trying to cut costs by closing more than half of its available stores. Cherry blossoms at Buddhist temple in western Japan are being lit up at night for a limited time. The temple grows about 1,300 cherry trees. The flowers are currently in full bloom, as you can see, very pretty. Visitors also got to see reflections of the cherry blossoms on the shiny floor of a stage at the temple. The spring illumination event began March 24th and will continue until April 9th. Cherry blossoms, are they pretty big right now?
Oh, it's big. In fact, in Washington, D.C., around the Capitol, they have a whole ton of cherry blossoms that came from Japan. And it's, you know what the most important city during springtime is in the Crossroads?
Nope.
Nope.
Bloomington.
Oh, we should have recorded Bloomington.
They had a track meet today, but anyway, that's a different story.
That's sports, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That's your block.
Stay in my
Move
lane.
on.
Yeah, well, there are a couple of showers to the north and west. If you're up in Gonzales, in those areas, you might get some of that activity. Tomorrow, warm and windy and warmer. We're getting up to almost 90 degrees with windy and warm conditions through the weekend. Now, it's a little early, but I'm getting real optimistic on this Wednesday, Thursday of next week, which may give us a good shot at some rain around here. And we'll certainly be in touch and on top of that for you.
Well, thank you so much, Mac. Ashland, Virginia will begin the 50th anniversary of Secretariat 1973's Triple Crown with a monument unveiling on April 1st. The monument traveled over 1,000 miles from the foundry in Oklahoma to the historic town of Ashland. At 11.5 feet tall and 21 feet long, it's the largest monument of the racehorse in existence. And that is so cool.
Secretariat is amazing.
Secretariat.
And just...
And
he still has so many records.
Yeah.
I think for the Triple Crown, it has it still holds the record for the 3 races that it competed in.
Yeah, but it's not fair. It's getting a ride.
Well, I guess if you're using a truck, you can run for miles on that thing.
But that's an 11-foot bronze of Secretariat. That must be huge.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's like 200 and I think 65, maybe I've done a little bit of research before this, but 265 horses that still have the bloodline of Secretariat.
Oh, because
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because Secretariat has passed away, but still
but
pretty cool that it's
left a lot of progeny or little kids.
For a pretty penny, too, I'm sure.
Oh, I imagine.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about horse racing, but he's like a legend, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Well,
he's the
let me
goat
see.
of horses.
After you win a couple big races, they put you on a farm, and they bring company to you, and then they make more babies.
Yep. He's a stud for life.
That's what he did. That's what he did in his later life, and he's a.
And it's
very
story of Secretariat.
And that's the history. Alrighty, well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on Crossroads Today Plus.